that. They couldn't do that. We felt that's one thing we had to keep alive.
The playoffs just 2 seasons ago. Don Shula's Dolphins had celebrated their position as the AFC team to beat, capturing home field advantage. The upstart Chargers of Bobby Ross were full of Super Bowl fight, fed by a season that featured wins in 12 of their final 13 games. But on a rainy Florida Sunday, Miami quickly discharged San Diego's dreams for the big party. San Diego quarterback Stan Humphries uncharacteristically threw 4 interceptions, admitting later it was his worst NFL game. Miami's Marino characteristically threw for 3 touchdowns. Final score, Dolphins 31, Chargers nothing. Neither made it to the Super Bowl that year, but both teams looked like they had become better for the experience. Both would return solid playoff contenders behind talented quarterbacks. Then last season, injuries robbed both teams of their quarterbacks, their dreams. Marino's was severe enough to turn him into a spectator. Humphries bad enough to shorten his performance. The year that began so optimistically finished with both teams disappointingly out of the playoffs. But this year, Marino and Humphries guided their teams to division titles, leading with their arms and their hearts. The depth of their talent stretched by their courage, their refusal to acknowledge pain. Who could forget Marino still struggling with the ache of his Achilles, leading his team back against the Jets, down 10 points, 4th quarter, engineering 2 touchdown drives. The final one with just seconds left, ingeniously deceiving the defense that he was going to throw the ball away, only to turn and deliver the winning touchdown pass. While that was the most celebrated of Marino's heroics, there were 3 other times when he led Miami from behind to win, all the time pushing his teammates, exhorting them to perform at a higher level, exposing his raw emotion, his desperate desire to win. For San Diego's Stan Humphries, his show of leadership has been no less dramatic. Earlier this year against the Raiders, Humphries took a terrible beating, leaving him withering in pain. Team doctors advised him not to return, but with so much on the line, Stan the man hobbled back. Humphries' heroics positioned the Chargers for a game-winning field goal. And as Stan limped off the field, there was no doubt as to his desire, his drive to return to the playoffs. Both men are back to where they were 2 years ago. Quarterbacks of playoff teams, only 2 wins from the Super Bowl. Both have a better understanding that opportunities are rare and that on any play their season, their career can end. As both men take the field today, they carry with them the memories of their pain, their struggles, and their optimism that they will be the one to advance. A blessed break in the Pacific storms that have struck Southern California this week. Sunny and in the 60s with over 60,000 at San Diego's Jack Murphy Stadium to see the champions of the AFC East, Miami, against the best of the AFC West, San Diego. San Francisco, Dallas, and Pittsburgh are convincingly in the Final Four. Either the Dolphins or the Chargers will fill the semis. It should be a battle of top guns and aerial attack, and appropriately, the Navy F-14s from nearby Miramar Naval Air Base with a flyover salute. Now it's up to Marino. It's up to Humphries. It's up to these 2 teams who have had to wait longest of all. You can bet that they are really biting at the bit.
Yeah, that's the worst part about this, Dick. This is where you want to be, but waiting until that kickoff, get the butterflies out of you, it just numbs you.
Well, these 2 quarterbacks both feel very confident. They finished the season on a high note. Marino in the last 4 games did not throw an interception.
And Dick, there are times when Dan Marino just plays in a zone, like Michael Jordan used to play basketball. You can't stop him no matter what defense you draw up.
And you can't minimize Marino's pain this year. In fact, he's talking about an operation on that Achilles. More on that later. Stan Humphries, too, in the last 2.5 games, 5 touchdowns, 1 intercept.
And, Dick, he's another tough guy. He can take the heat. He can take the hits. The team has rallied around his injuries. He's made them a lot better football team.
Well, there's so much to consider here. What do you think the key is?
Well, I like to look at the defensive side of the ball, and the two linebackers, the two middle linebackers in today's game, Junior Seau and Brian Cox, are two of the best. They both move from outside linebacker to inside linebacker. They're both very hard to block. They both run all over the football field. They're both off the field very quiet, but on the field they're maniacs. And I also have a feeling that when these guys meet and talk in the Pro Bowl, they'll become great friends because they're both cut from the same cloth, Dick.
Well, you can look in their eyes,
yes,
and you see the spirit, the tempo of this game. And joining us down on the field here in San Diego is John Dockery.
Thank you, Dick. I spoke to both coaches moments ago. Bobby Ross talked about his offensive line being the key, able to run the ball, keep the ball away from Marino. Don Shula talked about intangibles, about momentum, about magic, and continuing to play as well as they played last week against Kansas City. Should be a great game, Dick. Back to you.
All right, Doc, great to have you with us, and we're set to go. Boss Ross against the immortal Don Shula. Irving spikes, number 40. O.J. McDuffie deep. John Carney gets it underway. Short toward the sidelines. McDuffie from Penn State, ridden out of bounds at about the 33-yard line. Here comes Dan Marino and the Miami offense. And they are built around strength on the left side. Webb and Sims are Pro Bowlers. With him in the backfield, Dan Marino. And it's been a rebuilt backfield with injuries this year. Saxon and Parmalee, the leading rusher. Fryer, McDuffie outside with All-Pro Keith Jackson at tight end. When they go to 3 wide, Aaron Craver signed when Keith Byers went down, and Scott Miller for the injured Mark Ingram will enter the contest. Spotted at the 34, Marino's first snap. And he comes out throwing. Down the middle to Jackson, to the 40, and to the San Diego 36-yard line before Stanley Richard can make the tackle. Marino right on the money, threading that one through San Diego traffic.
Great play-action fake here by Dan Marino. Jackson releases outside of Mims, 94. Gets right by the linebacker Gibson, and he's wide open. I mean, it's one of the things you know about San Diego's defense, Dick, is there's lots of zone. If you can hold linebackers, you're going to find receivers open deep down the middle.
Marino first down at the Charger 35. Parmalee and Spikes behind him. Jackson in motion. He throws again. Under pressure, goes deep. Intercepted. Picked off by Darren Carrington. He trapped the ball. Stanley Richard, the safety, coming in from the left side, blitzing Marino. That's an early indication that Arnsparger, the defensive coordinator of San Diego, is going to pull out some stops.
Here's the blitz. Most people say when you play Dan Marino, you got to get pressure in his face. They try. Stanley Richard is right there, but Marino with that release is still able to get the ball off. This should have been intercepted. I mean, that's in games like this, that's an opportunity you have to make. You've got to catch that interception.
The ball and falls on it. It appeared that either O'Neal or Mims caught the ball just as Marino was cocking it to throw.
This is significant. Top of the screen, he beats Ron Heller. Mims does, who last week Ron Heller shut out Neil Smith. No tackles, no sacks.
Give Mims a sack on that play. He had 11 during the regular season. He's in his third year from Tennessee. O'Neal led the Chargers with 12 and a half, so they can put pressure from either corner. Mims and O'Neal. 3rd and 10. Marino had to get rid of it. No time to find an open man, and Mims was on him again. Listen to this crowd.
Dick, one of the things that Dan Marino told us is you've got to have confidence in your pass protection. Well, here Mims, straight outside move on Ron Heller. He's got a bad left shoulder, but Mims comes inside. There's also pressure from Rayleigh Johnson on the outside.
So comes John Kidd, the former Charger punter. Tied at midseason, and he lofts a high one. Gordon lets it go, and it kicks a San Diego bounce into the end zone. When we come back, it'll be Stan Humphries' turn.
This is one long game.
Ball after holding Miami. William Stanley Humphries has this offensive line. Watch 320-pound rookie Isaac Davis. He'll be blocking Bowens. In the backfield with Humphries. Natron Means leading a rusher for the Chargers, 4th in the NFL. Jefferson and Say the outsiders. Young and Papuno in the double tight end. They use a lot of wham blocking. Ronnie Harmon could be the key in this game. He comes in the San Diego posse, a great receiver. Tied for the team lead. Tony Martin, a former Dolphin, also will come in. There's Harmon, played at Iowa, and he has caught in the last 3 years 210 passes, most of any NFL running back. They start with Means and Papuno in the backfield, and Humphries to throw. He goes long. It's Sean Jefferson off his fingertips. It appeared he was out of bounds anyway. Troy Vincent on the coverage. So both teams come out stretching the defense with a long pass on the first play.
Trying to leave a message for the other team. No, no, no. Natron Means we run the ball a lot, but we can throw it too. You can't cheat those defensive backs up. Humphrey said, oh, man, we practiced that all week long. I made that completion.
Ronnie Harmon comes in. They spread it this time. And then give to Means. Caught by the shirt tail and dropped for a 4-yard loss. Marco Coleman, who played for Bobby Ross when they won the national championship at Georgia Tech. It's Cross, Bowens, Klingbeil, and Coleman on the front four for the Dolphins. Their linebackers, Aubrey Beavers, a rookie, and then Jesse Solomon actually would be 3rd on the list because Chris Singleton and Dwight Hollier are injured. Vincent and Brown at the corners, and Stewart and Atkins the safeties. Means out. Harmon in the backfield, 3rd and 13. Tim Bowens out in pass situations for Miami. Humphries incomplete. Good coverage by Tyrone Braxton, the former Denver Bronco, in as an extra defensive back to deny Ronnie Harmon.
Dick, watch Brian Cox here. This is a 4-man rush, a 4-7 defense by Miami. And Brian Cox, although not as big as most pass rushers, great speed, has that good second move, put a lot of pressure on Stan Humphries.
Oh, Miami's defense has the answer to San Diego. 3 and out, and Brian Wagner from Cal State Northridge, the punter. He sends out a beauty. McDuffie inside the 35. And knocked out of bounds at the 46-yard line. Marino will have good field position after that 51-yard punt. Chargers. Winner goes to Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh, the hometown of Dan Marino, for the AFC Championship a week from today. Marino from his own 46. James Saxon in motion in the first running play. Bernie Parmalee tackled by Leslie O'Neal. A gain of about 4. Here's the San Diego defense. We've already seen Chris Mims and how he can destroy plans. Lee and Davis both over 300, and O'Neal led the team in sacks. Griggs, a former Dolphin. Gibson, an ex-Lion. Sayao, an all-pro. Gordon and Harper at the corners, and Carrington and Richard are the safeties. In the dime, Willie Clark, the rookie from Notre Dame, and Sean Van Horst enter. Second down and 8. Underneath, Marino goes, and he's just shy of a first down to O.J. McDuffie. Dennis Gibson, the tackler. We talked with Dan Marino yesterday. It has been felt since early in the season that that Achilles injury just did not heal properly. And we asked him point blank, what do you think? And he's been, you know, he's the kind of guy who would never complain, would not want you to know he's been playing in pain with that Achilles. He said, it looks as if I may have the operation. I'll find out. I'll get another opinion or two. He may be operated on as soon as the season ends. Sheriff from Texas. Bill Arnsparger, the longtime friend of Shula, calling the shots.
Look at those two defensive tackles. They're pointing right in towards the center, and you see Stanley Richard again. Safety blitz, a run blitz. Arnsparger, the defensive coordinator, has got a lot of tricks. He's going to pull him out early here to give the Miami offense a lot to think about.
Kidd's second punt. Gordon, who returned 2 for touchdowns during the season, bobbles and then controls at the 15-yard line. 32-yard punt, no return. 5 minutes gone, opening quarter.
You are now free to operate.
Is to see playoff intensity. You always like to leave an impression on your opponent. Sean Lee says to John Kidd, son, this is going to be a tough day for you.
You're in it too. This isn't Pinky Lee. No. This is Sean Lee.
That's right.
Ronnie Harmon in the backfield on first down, in motion. Humphreys looking for Mark Say. Say had 58 catches to tie Harmon for the club lead this year. Well, he admitted that the disaster 2 years ago at this time in Miami, 31-0 Dolphins, where he didn't do much at all, as you can see, was his worst game, and frankly said, I've never looked at the tape or film.
Doesn't want to, yeah. But at the same time, he also admitted, look, we were just happy to be in the playoffs. We're not really playing to Miami's level. This year, we do believe we belong.
Natron. That hole closed in a hurry as Means is to the 20-yard line. A gain of 5, maybe 6. Jeff Cross and Brian Cox on the stop. Means, a rookie last year out of North Carolina, backed up Marion Butts.
They thought so highly of Natron Means, they said, we'll see you, Marion. We think this kid can do it. That 343 carries, that's the only thing that bothers me. Second most in the league behind Emmitt Smith. That's a lot of work.
On 3rd and 4, Humphreys to Sean Jefferson, and San Diego cheers its initial first down.
Dick, what San Diego is doing here is putting Miami in a real ticklish situation. This is Ronnie Harmon, and he's coming in motion, but Miami has its base defense. So when you have Ronnie Harmon in there against your base defense, you've got a linebacker on him or you go zone. And here Jefferson finds the seam, and it's an easy completion for Stan Humphreys. Now, that's something that San Diego can exploit. See how they're going to cover Ronnie Harmon.
16 yards on the play. On first down, this time to Tony Martin, the former Dolphin, and Martin close to a first down. J.B. Brown made the tackle. Martin, one of those Chargers that has had a big play this year, a 99-yarder.
Yeah, he was kind of let go in Miami. They kept O.J. McDuffie in his place, and actually he made a lot of drops in Miami. Dan Marino kind of lost confidence in him, but he did say when he left Miami, Don Shula treated him very fairly. Wished him good luck, said, hey, we think you're going to be a great player someday. We can't invest the time in you. Former college quarterback. First catch he ever made was in the pros.
And what he said about Shula was, he says, the coach is so funny, he doesn't even know he's funny.
Yeah, well, except when you do something wrong, the coach is not funny.
Shula hopes to get that cast off his Achilles operation and be on his feet, he said, by Super Bowl time. Means blasting his way into the secondary. Oh, what a horse. Inside the 35, 20 to match his number.
The one thing about San Diego, Means may be stopped once or twice, but they'll keep giving it to him. You see the good pull, Isaac Davis, and also Harry Swain. Nice sweep run by San Diego, just blows Miami off the line of scrimmage. This is a powerful offense San Diego has.
A year ago, Means had a terrific day against the Dolphins rushing, as you can see. First down at the 35. Flag down. Eric Bieniemy had given Means a break on this play, but it appeared the Chargers had 2 men in motion.
Ball start. 87 offense. Correction. 87 offense. simulating the start of a play. Still first down.
Young, the San Diego Cannon, going all the way back to the L.A. Chargers, San Diego Chargers, Baron Hilton days, signaling a big play, touchdown for San Diego.
They've got some cannons on this offense now. Means, Humphreys.
First and 15. Draw to Means. Running through people and over others. He has 8 yards plus before Brian Cox can make the tackle. Short yardage there, but this has been a team, San Diego, with big plays. 7 over 70. Martin, 99 yards in Seattle. 90-yard punt return, Gordon. Coleman, kickoff, 90 yards. Coleman, kickoff, touchdown, 80 yards. Gordon, 75-yard punt return, touchdown. Richard, 73-yard interception, touchdown. 7 over 70 for San Diego, but that's not what they want.
No, they want to be slow and steady today. Eat up time on the clock.
On second down, screen to Means. Breaks out of the initial hit from Cox. Fumbles the ball, and Miami recovers at the 21-yard line.
That's just his 5th fumble of the season. Carried the ball 343 times, is an excellent receiver, but the ball is stripped away by Coleman, I believe. 90, strips it out of his arm.
Jesse Solomon recovers for Miami at the 21. Something that Bobby Ross nor any coach enjoys seeing, but especially San Diego, very infrequently do they give up the ball. In fact, they've fumbled an NFL low 14 times the past 2 seasons combined. So the Dolphins on the first turnover start from the 21. Some running room, has a first down out to the 34-yard line before Richard and Harper can make the tackle. 13 yards for Bernie Parmalee. You look at Natron Means.
Lead blocker Saxon, an excellent blocker. Good cut by Parmalee right here to the outside, runs out of the arm of Reuben Davis. I mean, this guy's a special teams player, was a special teams captain. Had a good preseason, and Don Shula couldn't keep him out of the lineup. Here's Junior Seau being hit by James Saxon. That is an excellent block by Saxon.
First down, Miami. No score. Under 5:40 left in the opening quarter. Marino, O'Neal can't get him. And a great throw over the middle to Irving Fryer, who had a career year with Miami this season with 73 catches, 17 yards on that play.
Dick, watch one of the greatest attributes that Dan Marino has. He avoids that first rusher. You see, Leslie O'Neal comes from the outside, just takes that little hop up, always looking down the field for a receiver. O'Neal makes a good move, but Marino gets himself out of the way of jeopardy there and still makes the completion.
First down, San Diego 49. Marino changing plays. Saxon and Parmalee split now behind him. Over the middle to Jackson, and Stanley Richard coming up had a shot at a pick. And once again, Marino gets the ball off, but Mims knocks him down. Miami has had its greatest difficulty scoring early throughout this year. That's hard to believe that Marino does not have a touchdown pass. Of his 30, not one in the opening quarter.
That is hard to believe. I don't understand why that is, except that there is generally a lot of experimenting going on by Miami. What defense do we see against this particular down and distance and use of personnel? So maybe that accounts for it.
Incomplete, and that's the kind of pass that gives shivers to Don Shula, bouncing high into the secondary. Dennis Gibson made the break on Aaron Craver.
One thing Miami has done historically, long time, they like to throw it to running backs. And Aaron Craver, Tony Nathan, I think, started it for Miami. Jim Kick did. And they've developed that offense where with motion and with formation, they try to release a receiver down through there. This time it was Aaron Craver.
Third down 10. Marino's been knocked down 4 times by the Charger pass rush, which was third best in the league in sacks. He finds Fryer open enough, first down inside the 30. Eric Castle, an extra defensive back, made the tackle. 19 yards.
Excellent pattern here, run by Fryer. Extra defensive back in the ball game, but Fryer big, strong, it's zone. He reads it properly, makes a good sharp cut, and Dan Marino certainly has confidence in Irving Fryer.
Never had a better year. Fryer, the first player selected in '84 by New England. That's his top mark. 73 catches, 7 touchdowns. 2 for 37 yards today. So out of 3rd and 10, Marino gets the first down at the Charger 29. Throws this one wide open to the 10, and Keith Jackson has first and goal Miami. Dwayne Harper finally wrestles him down.
Dick, this is the tight end out and up. Beautifully executed again. Now watch Marino keep himself alive. That little slide step, great confidence. There's a blitz coming by San Diego. Carrington was the closest man in coverage. Of course, then watch this out and up. See the blitz coming? Knows it's man-to-man. Carrington looks back. Jackson turns it up. Marino puts it right on the money.
Now Miami threatens first and goal at the 8. Harmony, no gain. Junior Seau.
Junior, in our conversation with us, told us that his left arm is still a problem. He's got a neck stinger, and his arm goes numb. And I said, "Well, what do you do about it?" He said, "Well, it needs a lot of rest. I didn't have enough rest to get completely healed, but I'm about 90%, and I can play through the pain."
Spikes and Parmalee in the eye, and now the shift. Stanley Richard. For the second time, they bring the safety on a blitz.
Yeah, so Dick, what San Diego is doing is when Miami goes motion, here's Keith Jackson coming in motion, then the San Diego Chargers are coming with a blitz. I mean, it's point counterpoint here. Actually, Keith Sims, the left guard, does an excellent job to come out there and get a helmet on Stanley Richard. It hits Richard right in the side of the helmet. Intended receiver was Aaron Craver out in the flat.
3rd and goal. Jackson wide open. Keith Jackson for the touchdown. Marino directing a brilliant drive, all the yardage significantly through the air, and Keith Jackson with an 8-yard strike. The veteran from Oklahoma says next year will be his last year.
Dick, that time Miami ran motion, and there was no blitz, and there should have been. If they blitz, Keith Jackson gets held up at the line of scrimmage.
Pete Stoyanovich with a try after. Dan Marino has thrown a touchdown pass in 12 consecutive playoffs. That's an NFL record.
Watch Junior Seau drop. Keith Jackson runs a little circle route. That quick release, and before any defensive back can get there, Jackson scores.
Jack Murphy Stadium, where the Dolphins have struck first 7-0. A 79-yard drive in 9 plays after Natron Means fumble, and Keith Jackson with the 8-yard touchdown catch from Marino. Andre Coleman now, the kick return artist, the rookie from Kansas State for San Diego, took 2 back for scores this year. Stoyanovich. Coleman looking for a crease. It's not there. Brant Boyer made the tackle at about the 26-yard line.
Dick, back to the touchdown. Here's McDuffie in motion, and this is Jackson Stanley Richard. When McDuffie releases, Van Horst comes with him, and it's a simple en route by Keith Jackson. They're expecting some pressure on Dan Marino, but again, when he breaks in inside Stanley Richard, somebody blows the coverage because nobody's there. Watch how open he is. There is a moment's hesitation by Stanley Richard, 24, and Jackson's in the end zone.
Means trying to get too much with the fumble at the 21. Solomon recovered, and that led to the 79-yard drive. Ronnie Harmon on first down. A rare running play for Harmon out to the 32. During the season, he carried only 25 times. His role usually in the passing game, where he caught 58.
And he comes out, and Eric Bieniemy comes in. I think one of the things they want to do with Ronnie Harmon is just create that little bit of indecision in Miami's defense. Are they going to throw to him, or are they going to hand to him? It changes what you do defensively a great deal.
Second down, 4. This is Eric Bieniemy, and the former star at Colorado, who finished third for the Heisman in '91, looks to have close to a first down. They're going to measure Johnny Greer, our referee today. Yeah, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Congratulations to Bill Cowher's team. A very impressive winner yesterday, and undoubtedly a day in which they'll have time to watch this one, and be interesting to listen to the cheers as to whom they hope they'll be facing on Sunday next.
I think their response, we don't care. Not in Pittsburgh in the middle of January. But we'll take a team from San Diego. We'll take a team from Miami. Come on into Three River Stadium.
Bring on the cold and snow.
Yeah, we don't care which one.
Third down and inches. Steve Hendrickson, all-purpose Hendrickson, is the blocking back. But it's Humphreys who sneaks it ahead and didn't get much, but didn't need much. First down. Oh, what a day. Thank goodness the weather has cleared at least for a few hours. These aerial shots courtesy of the Goodyear Blimp Eagle, based in Carson, California. More rain is on the way. They predict 3 storms are lined up out in the Pacific, and they could hit sometime early evening. But that's about the only blue sky folks in this part of the Southern California have seen for quite a while.
It was waist deep out here early in the week, wasn't it?
First down for Humphreys. Throws to Sean Jefferson. Nice move on J.B. Brown. First down, San Diego, out to the 48-yard line.
Now, that last touchdown Miami has put a little bit of pressure on the San Diego offensive game plan. This is a simple route. Choice by Stan Humphreys. He takes the square in. J.B. Brown, the closest man in coverage. Nice first down pickup by the Chargers. They don't have to change a thing here. Be patient, but they got to get the ball in the end zone.
First quarter complete, and Miami with the lead.
Show will bring you the national finals of the punt, pass, and kick competition. In the 12-year-old age group, Kendra Wecker of Kansas is the first girl to reach the finals. We'll show you her efforts. And we'll be joined live by Steelers cornerback Rod Woodson. That is all coming up at halftime. Right now, back we go to San Diego and rejoin Dick Enberg and Bob Trumpy.
Thanks, Greg. And that young lady, not this one, who's a Junior Seau fan, obviously, from Chiefs territory, wearing 19. She threw the ball over 50 yards on the mark.
She was impressive.
Eric Bieniemy for Natron Means. We don't know if Means is injured. Bieniemy close to 10 yards to the 42-yard line on the first play of the second quarter. Michael Stewart made the tackle. Means obviously is okay.
Dick, look at the old man pull here. Stan Brock, 67. Kind of loses his footing a little bit, but gets a good hit on Jesse Solomon. Eric Bieniemy breaks behind him. Chargers, whether it's Means, whether it's Bieniemy, they have the chance to control the line of scrimmage here against the Miami Dolphins. They got to stay with the game plan, but they've got to answer that scoring drive.
First down, 41. Fake to Means. Humphreys to Jefferson, and it's offline as Humphreys went down, hit as he threw. Marco Coleman and Tim Bowens in on the San Diego quarterback. Time of possession, and of course part of the themes this week for San Diego was to keep the ball away from Marino.
You generally get in an NFL game 12 offensive possessions, 6 a half. San Diego is thinking, look, if we can cut it down to 7 or 8 and make Dan Marino go the long field, maybe we can neutralize him a little bit. Well, the first drive was 79 yards. It's got to have to be a long, long field to neutralize Marino.
And it was all Marino. Means endeavoring to make amends after his fumble to the 38-yard line, a gain of nearly 4. Aubrey Beavers, the rookie from Oklahoma, made the stop.
He has a bruise on the outside of his left knee. That may be why he's coming off the field. A slight limp. He had that week off, kind of freshened his legs a little bit, but the bruise doesn't require any taping or anything, but it does begin to ache when he takes hits on it.
Talk about aches. What part of that body do you try to tackle?
Shoelaces.
On 3rd and long, incomplete and almost intercepted by Brian Cox. Troy Vincent covering Mark Say.
Circle route run by Mark Say, just an underneath. They're going for the shore
Fourth
third
down here.
conversion here, and they're going to go for it on 4th down. They had man coverage. Stan Humphreys makes the right choice, but Say can't make the reception.
So on 4th down and 7, the Chargers go for it at the 38-yard line. Harmon in motion. Oh my, Ronnie Harmon playing that one like an outfielder.
They run him in motion, and they get a little crowd over here on the left, and Ronnie Harmon fakes like he's going outside, comes inside, stick, Velcro. Oh, it's mine. Playing like he's got a first baseman's mitt. Fired in here. Chuck it in.
Saw him do exactly that
in practice
2 days ago. One-handed. Oh. Harmon gives San Diego life on 4th and 7. And Means burrows inside the 20.
Dick, that 4th down attempt, all in the thinking of San Diego. Keep it out of Dan Marino's hands. I have great confidence in my offense. Bobby Ross makes the call. You got to give your offense a chance to win the football game, and on 4th down and 6 or 7, what's the big deal?
Second and 6 for Humphreys. Papuno is open, and the tight end has it at the 7. Ball comes free, but it had been whistled dead. A 17-yard play. Alfred Papuno from Weber State.
Dick, nobody covered Papuno at all. Now, understand he's the size of a guard, but he does wear an eligible number. So somebody's going to have to cover him. That was an easy completion for Stan Humphreys. I mean, there was nobody between him and the receiver.
Papuno is in there as their tight end blocker. Joe Gibbs relate to his role very well. It's much like that Washington offense, that big tight end, Don Warren. First and goal, fake to Means. Throw it away. Good coverage by Miami defense. They had 2 defenders on the 2 receivers that were out on the pattern.
Yeah, they tried to get both Young and Mitchell, the 2 big, they call them tight ends or H-backs, but they're basically guards with eligible numbers. Excellent coverage by Miami.
7-0 Dolphins. 11:25 remaining in this first half. Tom Olivadotti, the defensive coordinator for Miami. 13th play of the drive. Means to the 3, maybe 2.5-yard line. Gene Atkins, a free agent from New Orleans, made the stop.
Can you see the confidence they have in Means in his offensive line? Again, double pull. Bukozo and Brock also come around there. When Natron Means lowers his shoulder, there's just not much to hang on to there.
41 yards rushing for Means in this first half. He gets the ball to the 2-yard line, 3rd and goal. Ronnie Harmon in motion. Incomplete. Well covered by the Miami defense, and Michael Stewart, who made the big play and stripping the ball from Marcus Allen in the Kansas City win a week ago, was very close to going 100 the other way.
Yes, he was. You know, Dick, because they threw on 2nd down, and it took them out of the idea that they could go for all 4 downs here. This is definitely 4-down area.
Oh, Carney to try what amounts to an extra point that'll count for 3 as Gilbert holds a 20-yard field goal. Carney on his way to the Pro Bowl, the leading scorer in the NFL this year. He missed only 4 of 38 field goals. And he gets San Diego on the board. So the Chargers have had 2 long drives, 65 yards and 72 yards. One ended in a fumble, the other in just a field goal.
Yeah, so good news and bad news. They got the ball, they kept it a long time, but just 3 points out of those 2 drives, not enough.
And Marino itching for his next chance as Carney kicks it off. McDuffie and Spikes are deep. It's to McDuffie. 25 sees a seam, 1 man to beat, and Hendrickson, no, it is number 54, Doug Miller, who makes the tackle at midfield.
10 minutes, perfect.
Mission Valley, San Diego, California. Just what Marino ordered. Good field position. O.J. McDuffie, a 42-yard kickoff return to the Dolphin 48-yard line. Marino to the sidelines, and again, wide open receiver McDuffie. First down at the 41 of the Chargers. Darian Gordon, and we may have a late hit on the Chargers.
Stop by Darian Gordon. Penalty flag on the field.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 21, defense. First down.
Darian Gordon, the left corner, on his coverage.
Well, Bobby Ross, I think, thought his team grew up a little bit a couple of years ago, but this is a very childish and foolish play at that point. I mean, knowing that your defense has got a short field behind you, one of the greatest throwers of the football in the game, he's staring right at the sideline. That ends up being something like a 30 or 25 or 30-yard play here.
26. First down at the 26. Jackson breaks the tackle, and he's inside the 20-yard line as Dwayne Harper unable to bring him down on the initial hit. Dennis Gibson and Reuben Davis finally got him to the turf.
And see, Dick, now with the ball position that Miami has, they can run every part of their offense. This is the little drag slant. The slant was to McDuffie. It's covered. He goes to the drag by the tight end. And you're starting to see now San Diego, it's not working. So they're starting to try more than they should here. Keep your head, San Diego. Keep your head.
Second down, 3. Open again. Irving Fryer, first down at the 14.
Now, Dick, we were told by members of the San Diego Chargers that they wanted good, tight coverage on the outside receivers. Try to reroute them. Try to at least take Dan Marino away from his first read. To this point in this game, they've done none of that. They have blitzed, yes, but they've not rerouted these receivers. McDuffie and Fryer, both big, both strong. San Diego's not getting a bump on them at all.
McDuffie left, Fryer right, first down. Bernie Parmalee and a young man from Ball State able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Dennis Gibson spearheaded the defensive charge.
There's Bill Arnsparger. He is the architect of this defense, also the architect of the no-name defense that shut everybody out.
Bill, who had
Miami.
68 years young now, had prostate surgery earlier in the year. He is a wizard.
Oh, man. And this guy played for Woody Hayes, played for Blanton Collier, coached under both with Shula.
Not much he doesn't know about the defensive side of this game. Open receiver in the flat is James Saxon. Saxon, former Kansas City Chief. Out of bounds at the 9.
Oh, it's Junior Seau now. Pressure up through the middle to try to disrupt Dan Marino's rhythm. Pressure from the outside by O'Neal, but Junior Seau was late. Again, with that quick release and the knowledge of this offense and an expert at reading defenses, he goes to the outlet receiver for positive yardage.
It's third down. A long 4. They call it 5, but it's less than that. Jackson in motion.
Oh, man.
Touchdown. Keith Jackson, 2 for 2.
Beautiful. The motion has hurt San Diego's defense, and that and the missed opportunities. Dick Marino's got one receiver in mind here. Jackson goes in motion. Watch him wait. Jackson, he fakes inside. He comes back outside. When he turns around, bam. How do you stop it?
No one has yet. He not only has 2 touchdowns, but every time he's caught the ball, he takes a couple of steps before he runs into any defense. Stoyanovich with a point after. And the Dolphins impressive, and Marino couldn't play any better than the way he's thrown the ball those last 2 touchdown drives. See. Well, Don Shula has to like the ride so far in San Diego. 14-3.
That ride's been downhill in this first half.
Andre Coleman at the 5 as Stoyanovich sends a twister to the near sideline, fielded by Bieniemy. And he's tackled at the 26-yard line. Tomorrow night, Major Dads Gerald McCraney and Tracy Scoggins will star. World premiere of Jake Lassiter, Justice on the Bayou. That's tomorrow night at 9, 8 Central here on NBC.
Now, Dick, 14-3, 7-11 to go in the first half here. Now, you basically take the running game away from San Diego. They need points. They need them now. So they've eliminated Natron Means here. Even though he might be in the backfield, they're not going to hammer the line of scrimmage with him.
And meanwhile, Marino is humming. He was 5 for 5 on that last scoring drive that went 52 yards in 6 plays. Underneath they go to Mark Say, and he's hit by Jesse Solomon, shy of the first down at the 35.
Good pattern run, short. And then see Say come out from the right-hand side, just a little delay. Try to flush the defense to the right, get an underneath receiver. Oh, makes a good, solid tackle. Not enough for the first down.
Well, so far it's all Marino. 2 touchdowns. Although Humphreys has moved his team, just can't get any points. Means has blockers. He's all the way to the Miami 46-yard line. Nene, he was called by Mama.
That's all right. The sweep what Natron Means. I mean, that's like a pass. Excellent job again. Davis, number 73 out in front, going with one of those big tight ends.
Shannon Mitchell.
Shannon Mitchell, a good escort for Natron Means. He knows how to get him first down, and of course with all his carries he's going to get his chance.
Just to have your name right behind Emmitt Smith in any category is a compliment.
That's a nice list. Barry Sanders, Jerry Rice in that list.
Means with 59 yards rushing. He's got a lot more than that. Look at him cut inside the block to the 26-yard line. Sean Jefferson throwing a shielding block. 20 more for Means. He's got a 79-yard half.
Yeah. Offensive linemen get running backs 8 yards. Wide receivers blocking, they get you 80. Excellent job out front. And see that little move? That little move gets him outside, and then Sean Jefferson does help. Harry Swain with an excellent block. Now they're going to the perimeter of this defense. 240 pounds, showing a speed of an 180-pounder.
He's averaging 8.8 yards a carry. The enemy replaces Means. The enemy to the 23-yard line and hanging on. A desperate tackle from Aubrey Beavers. Gain of 3.
53, Aubrey Beavers.
The enemy, if he can just pick his feet up. Here's Swain again coming. Good blocking down in there. The running back jumps up through there. Nice saving tackle here by Beavers. But again, watch Swain. Excellent job. Now you hope the running back can break that tackle.
The enemy stays in. Harmon is out in the far wing. And then they give to the enemy. Eric the enemy to the 6-yard line. Michael Stewart saved the touchdown.
Well, Dick, my opinion when this drive started, that they had to throw it. Good thing they weren't listening. Means and the enemy have been this drive. Again, nice little delay that catches the Miami Dolphins deep. Here's Brian Cox, middle linebacker. Excellent job done by another one of those H-back tight ends.
First and goal at the 6. Means caught from behind. Marco Coleman was able to break through, and Michael Stewart came up to support. No gain. They had first and goal earlier in the game and threw on first down, and finally had to settle for a field goal, stopped at the 2.
Yeah, they have more field goals than they do touchdowns when they're inside the 20, and you can see how poor they've been. But this is most assuredly a 4-down area. They can't take another field goal here.
San Diego running the ball more effectively in terms of yards than passing it. Humphreys.
Nobody open.
Wide open now is Young, but overthrown. Dwayne Young, one of the big H-back tight ends.
Dick, I don't understand this. I mean, they run the ball to this point, and then I guess they read their own statistics. We're not good inside the 20, so they try something tricky. You've got Natron Means in the backfield. Keep giving it to him.
Here comes Harmon and Sean Jefferson. Third and goal at the 6, and Don Shula counters with 5 changes as he brings in his dollar defense.
That's 7 defensive backs.
Fake to Harmon, give to Jefferson. They try a flanker reverse, and Jefferson stopped at the 4.
Dick, just think of where we've been down here. San Diego, down on the goal line, we've seen nothing but finesse plays. Nothing but finesse down there inside the 10-yard line, as opposed to just trying to power it in the end zone. They go with it as Ralph Region, the offensive coordinator. If it works, he's a genius. To this point, it hasn't worked.
You don't like to see field goals 20 yards and now 21. Miami calls time. May not have had enough men on the field. So we'll pause with 2:50 left in the half. It continues. Long drives, few points apparently, as Carney, after a 70-yard drive, set up for a short field goal. Now the thinking here, not like yesterday, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, where the Browns were down 17-0 and having trouble moving the ball, went for the field goal. Here's a case where you make the field goal, you've moved the ball well, and you're an 8-point touchdown away from a tie.
That's amazing. And they changed personalities inside the 10.
And Carney chips in the easy one. It's 14-6.
Dick, again, a missed opportunity. We almost saw an interception to stop a drive by San Diego. One trip down there, they fumbled. 2 trips down now into the by the goal line, and they've kicked field goals. And I don't understand that the personality of this team is a power team, and it certainly should be that inside the 10-yard line.
So 3 drives of over 65 yards for San Diego. Earlier today, I'm sure most of you are well aware, it was the Dallas Cowboys eliminating Green Bay 35-9 and setting an NFL playoff record with a 94-yard touchdown pass from Troy Aikman to Alvin Harper. The bad news for the Cowboys, Emmitt Smith aggravated that hamstring injury and left the game in the first half. As far as we know, did not return.
That's real bad news. Dallas needs Emmitt Smith to win.
A reminder tonight on NBC, it's all new episodes of Earth 2 and Sequest, followed by the network television premiere of Ricochet. That's starting at 7/6 Central here on NBC. So stay with us on the Peacock tonight. Brian Cox was not happy on that 4th down field goal setup as he came out of the game, whether it was the fact that he just didn't want to come out, but he had some emotional words with Tom Olivedati, the defensive coordinator, who just calmly said, hey, it's all right. Joe Green was there too.
Yeah, that's the best way to deal with Brian Cox. Calmly, coolly, let him settle down and keep that emotion inside.
John Carney, short, and to Irving Spikes. He sees a crease and is hit at the 30-yard line. Spikes from Northeast Louisiana, same school that produced Dan Humphries.
Dick, this was they were about to attempt a field goal here, and Brian Cox throws his helmet down. I think Miami had 12 men on the field, and as Brian Cox goes to the sideline, that's Tom Olivedati, the defensive coordinator. As you say, Tom, very calm, very cool, very collected. Brian Cox has done a great job moving from outside linebacker to inside linebacker. I think he's playing it on instinct. First year there, he didn't know how to play middle linebacker, but he plays.
2:38 left in the half, and Marino and Miami with a 14-6 lead. Screen it to Spikes. Or check that, Aaron Craver. It's Craver, and he's out for about 4 yards before Richard and Harper can make the stop.
And now, Dick, 2:25 to go. Miami's already setting up for the 2-minute warning here. They're already in their 2-minute offense, trying to stay at the line of scrimmage, get more points. San Diego's been very generous with the opportunities for Miami.
Craver in the backfield, re-signed by Miami when Byers was injured. Marino underneath. Craver again. Fights to the 38-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 2 at the 2-minute warning. 4-time Pro Bowl tight end Bob Trumpy. Boy, he just quivers thinking about what it would have been like to be on the same team with a Dan Marino. I thought Kenny Anderson would have been.
I had a chance. Greg Cook, before he got hurt, he could have been Dan Marino, but there's been nobody since Joe Namath to throw the ball with the velocity and the release like Dan Marino.
Marino has hit 9 in a row. He has his Dolphins in front 14-6, and he faces 3rd and 2. Hand off to Spikes. The second, Craver again, and Craver has the 1st down. Aaron Craver. Here's a man that was released, and Don Shula said, I couldn't believe that no one picked him up. He was sitting out there, and we needed someone, and Byers went down, and Craver producing.
Big block by Keith Jackson coming from the outside. Craver, a big weightlifter, a very strong running back.
Underneath, and it's to McDuffie, close to another 1st down at the San Diego 42.
And Dick,
43 they mark it.
You can't give Dan Marino and Miami these chances. It's just suicide.
Batted in the air by Junior Seau. So Seau, filtering his way through, almost deflected that one to himself.
I got Junior on a blitz. He recognizes what's coming, and watch the athletic ability here. Gets around the blocker. Hands up quickly. Oh, it's one hand. That could have been the play to turn the tide here.
Marino's string of 10 straight completions snapped there by Seau. It took an all-pro to do it.
Now 3 plays in the huddle. 2 he calls, 1 an automatic. In 1 minute and 13 seconds, try to get as much yardage as he can here.
Miami has 2 timeouts left. And now only 1. They got the time before a delay of game penalty. So the Dolphins saved the 5 yards, but have only 1 timeout.
Wait a minute.
Prior to the goal timeout,
No,
actually,
didn't make it in time.
Actually, that's a plus.
It is.
It really is, because it's 3rd now and 6, and you still have 2 timeouts.
So the ball marked back at the 48-yard line. Eric Castle, an extra defensive back in for San Diego. That's the first Miami penalty of a well-played half, both sides. Third and 6. Oh, what a catch by Irving Fryer. Oh, raising the level of play, and Fryer making a sliding, diving grab in front of Darren Carrington for 24 yards.
And how about the read and throw by Marino? He throws it where it can't be intercepted. It can only be completed, or it's an incomplete pass.
Lots of time again, and another good catch by Keith Jackson. Open at the 16, and then the timeout called by Marino with 42 seconds left. And because they saved the timeout on the delay of game penalty, they still have 1 remaining.
Absolutely. They could use the entire width of the field. But here's the big completion to Irving Fryer. He's looking down the field, finding a receiver, that quick release. And Fryer makes the catch. You know, interesting, in talking to Dan Marino, he said that when he went to the University of Pittsburgh, Jackie Sherrill was his head coach. Jackie Sherrill said to him, son, don't let any coach ever mess with your delivery. They can tell you anything. They can do anything with you. Don't let them mess with your delivery.
And remember what Fryer told us midseason. He said that Marino, with that injury and the fact that he sat out last year and realized that time is short, age is getting him like it gets everyone, that he's playing with a vengeance this year, and I'm the beneficiary.
Oh, no question about it. And look at the numbers. The difference in touchdowns to interceptions. 76, 143 more. Joe Montana, 133 more touchdowns to interceptions. On the all-time list, the quarterbacks want wins and they want points. And Marino has been one of the best.
2nd and 2. That's Leslie O'Neal shouting something to his teammates. They're not going to get it all.
That's 2 timeouts in a row. That's 2 timeouts in a row.
Delay. Offense.
That's twice now the officials have helped him. They gave him the timeout on the other one. They don't let him have it here. That would have been a penalty.
So they still have the 1 timeout. 42 seconds left. The key to this game, if you're just joining us, each team has been inside the 20. San Diego twice, 2 field goals. Miami twice, 2 touchdowns, and they were inside the 20 again.
Miami was charged with the delay. They cannot call consecutive timeouts.
Yeah, you're right on that, Bob Trumpy. And Don Shula, member of the Rules Committee, knew it as well.
Yeah, there's you say inside the 20, and I think it's more what San Diego's done to themselves inside the 20 that's resulted in those field goals.
Really doesn't matter. They got the 5-yard penalty. They still have a timeout left. Marino going for 6. Off the fingertips of Irving Fryer, but I believe the Chargers were guilty of an illegal chuck. Darian Gordon on that left corner again. The spotlight on him along with Eric Castle. Automatic first down, Miami. .37 seconds left.
Holding. 21. Defense. First down.
Only 3 San Diego penalties, 2 on Darian Gordon.
There's Darian Gordon right there. You see he grabs the jersey of Irving Fryer, probably very smart.
Yeah, that would have been a touchdown
No
otherwise.
question.
That was just enough to hold him.
Yep, they'll take the penalty. Clock is on their side here with 37 to go.
Miami trying to build on its 14-6 lead. Seau on the blitz. Jackson turned one way to pass the other, and Stanley Richard has to be talking to himself the way Jackson's turning him around.
Blitz run by San Diego, Junior Seau. They also had safeties on the blitz. Eric Castle. Watch all the blitzing. And here's Keith Jackson. Again, fakes the out and up, and Richard buys it. Marino throws that to the inside. It's a completion, but there was so much pressure coming, he had to get rid of it.
Marino with 190 yards in this first half. Guns this one complete. Touchdown! Mike Williams, who did not have a touchdown all season long.
You can't give Dan Marino those opportunities. He just will eat you alive.
16 yards as Marino has thrown for his third touchdown in the half. And Mike Williams will take that one home. His first ever, I believe, Miami touchdown in this his fourth season. Boyanovich makes it 21-6.
Again, excellent job by the offensive line first, giving him time. Here's the slant pattern run, and again Marino with that quick delivery. When he gets that thing up and ready to go, bam, it's gone. The defensive back has no chance to recover from any mistake that he makes. Watch Marino's eyes. He knows where he's going. He puts his rear end into it. Marino makes the catch. This was awful easy. This was entirely easy. Watch the defensive back kind of back off of the receiver. You see, it looks like it's a little pick. They're going to the outside. And Marino chooses the inside guy, and he's wide open. Yeah.
70 yards in 9 plays. 2 minutes, 20 seconds for Marino to get number 3. And that touchdown changes the whole thinking of this game going into the locker room. Now you don't go for field goals.
Yeah.
Coming up, it's the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report with Greg Gumbel, Mike Ditka, and Joe Gibbs on tap. First half analysis of this game, a live interview with that terrific cornerback in Pittsburgh, Rod Woodson, and the national finals of the Gatorade Punt Pass and Kick competition, featuring the first female to ever make it to the national finals, and she's good. 12-year-old Kendra Wecker from Kansas.
Yeah, she had mom and dad here watching. They were really cheering from the end zone for Kendra.
How's that for second quarter numbers for Dan Marino?
And Dick, there are times when you can draw up any defense you want. You can have as gifted a defensive back as you want. When he's in the zone, and he has been for the last 2 weeks, you can't stop it. You absolutely cannot stop him. I mean, San Diego starts the game banging him. They get him on the ground, a couple of hits. He's so tough inside. Comes back like he's had all day and just stands there and tears them apart.
And they stopped him, forced Miami to punt the first 2 possessions, but the 3 Miami opportunities since have gone for 3 touchdowns, all Marino passes, 2 to Jackson and 1 now to infrequently used Mike Williams. They skid the kick off Culver's hands, and it goes to Ronnie Harmon. And Harmon fights out to the 37-yard line, and Stan Humphries has 21 seconds to try to do something special to cut into what now is a sizable Miami lead.
They're almost to the point now where they can't concede any downs here in the first half. They got to try a Hail Mary, a hook and lateral, anything to get the ball down the field.
Well, the pattern this playoffs has been home team, and basically home team favorite and home team winning by a sizable margin. But Miami turning that around thus far, 21-6.
And San Diego's done it to themselves.
Chargers have all 3 timeouts left. And down goes Humphries. Marco Coleman with a sack. He had 6 in the regular season, and he has been harassing Humphrey and the Chargers more than any of the Miami defenders.
And Dick, this was just a 3-man rush.
The Dolphins not renowned for their sacks, 29 total this year, and the average in the league is 40.8. So they got their sack in the sack.
Small sack
Oh,
they've been this season.
That playoff creativity is here.
When you give them time, they'll come up with stuff. You don't know what, but they'll come up with stuff.
John Paracis, our producer, director John Gonzalez. Good to have Tommy Roy, NBC's executive producer of sports, with us today in San Diego.
Dick, when San Diego goes in at halftime, they're going to kick themselves, absolutely kick themselves for the opportunities they've missed.
Again, a three-man rush. Underneath to the 40-yard line, a gain of 11, and timeout with 11 seconds left. Reminder again tonight, it's all new episodes of Earth 2 and Sequence. I don't wonder that Earth 2, we might see Marino on there the way he's going. He's in his own orbit, followed by the network television premiere of Ricochet. That starts at 7, 6 Central here on NBC.
Marino's definitely not an alien, but he does play at a much higher level.
And I don't think we can underplay one bit what Marino has gone through this year. The disappointment to know in summer camp that Achilles just wasn't right.
Yeah.
And it didn't get one bit better, he said, all season long. Never got better.
As a matter of fact, that's the brace he wears on his ankle. When you look at his calf, I mean, it's puny. It's pathetic. I mean, he has to really protect himself when he's out there. And he can't run much. He can barely walk. He can certainly throw.
Oh. Humphries downfield, intercepted. Picked off by Smith, Frankie Smith. And he's tackled at the 40-yard line as the first half comes to an end. And appropriately, it ends on another Miami play. And the enthusiastic fans in San Diego send their team off the field with a chorus of boos.
Stan Humphries is trying to make a big play here, Dick. He chooses the real deep receiver when the intermediate receiver, Mark Say, was open. And then Frankie Smith runs out the half, just running across the field.
Smith from Baylor, who did not have an interception all season, so they're all in the act. And Miami with Marino leads 21-6 at the break. Let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York.